Cullen, Avon.
The fire was warm, but nothing about this night felt easy. Sharael pressed me for trust, and I gave her pieces of my past instead. The weight of my fathers, the shadow of my granda, the curse of the fourth branch that still coils inside me like poison. I told her more than I ever meant to, about the mausoleum, about the oath that has bound the Avens for generations, and the doubts that have grown from it. She spoke of honor and duty, of the white circle and the purpose they would grant me. I wanted to believe her, maybe part of me still does, but all I could feel was the anger left behind by a man who twisted everything sacred into bitterness. I fear the fourth. I fear what it's made of me, and yet she sees something else, something worth keeping. Maybe she's right, or maybe she just needs me strong enough to carry her cause. Either way, the storm is here, and I've already stepped into it.
Hi, I'm Mike Carmel, and this is the Dark Razor Chronicles, Season 2, Episode 7, The God Who Turns Away. Last time, Cullen and Sharael Maldine shared a quieter night by the fire, the kind where truths slip out in the spaces between words. But the night has a way of stirring old wounds, and not all voices in the dark bring comfort. This episode takes us deeper into the things left unspoken, and into the silence of a God who no longer answers. Now, let's return to the edge of the blade.
Sharael Maldine. The fire crackles between us, filling the silence that stretches long and heavy. I say nothing, knowing he needs this moment. To think, to process. His pain runs deeper than I thought, but so does his honor. And for the first time, I wonder, what will be left of him when this is over? I stand, brushing grass from my clothes, and busy myself with the bedroll. The rough fabric scratches my palms as I unroll it, the sensation unfamiliar but oddly comforting. I drag my pack back from the fire and lay the bedroll in its place, the ground hard beneath the thin padding. I stare at it for a moment, a small smile tugging at my lips. It always looked so comfortable when I watched others use them, but now, 2 blankets wrapped in an oilcloth, no pillow, no mattress. And yet, I've always wanted to try this, to sleep under the stars by a campfire, to experience the simple pleasures. I find a cloak among the transported equipment, drape it over my shoulders and lie down, facing the fire. Its warmth washes over me, soothing despite the bumps of the uneven turf beneath me. It should be uncomfortable, but I don't care. This moment, this peace, is worth it. Across from me, Cullen has done the same. His bedroll is laid opposite mine, his body stretched out, hands folded behind his head, eyes fixed on the sky above. His silence is heavy, purposeful. He doesn't want to talk, and I respect that, though it sits between us like a wall. I shift onto my back, staring up at the darkening sky. The first stars pierce the velvet blackness, tiny pinpricks of light, the brightest gathered in the east. A ribbon of orange still clings to the west, bleeding into the encroaching darkness, a soft celebration of the day's end. The Novi Mundi shimmers above, a weave of magic only the circles can see, a tapestry of power, spun over nearly 600 years, stretching across the heavens. Tonight, it's unusually clear, every thread visible, but the pattern seems wrong, unfamiliar. I'm not sure why. I wonder if I've simply never looked closely enough before, or if something has shifted.
Drit, I yelp, my heart leaping as Cullen speaks suddenly, his voice cutting through the silence like a blade.
I arch off the bedroll, startled, my pulse pounding in my ears. But he's chuckling. A warm, rich sound, that fills the space between us.
Sorry, didn't mean to scare you.
He says, amusement lacing his words. I force a shaky breath, pressing a hand to my chest. It's all right, I murmur, my heart still racing. I'm grateful for the darkness, for the way it hides the heat that rises to my cheeks, and I'm sure the flush must be obvious in the flickering firelight. Had I fallen asleep? I must have, exhaustion catching up with me, but I'm wide awake now. Cullen still lies on his back, eyes on the sky, hands cradled behind his head. His calmness only makes my lingering adrenaline feel more ridiculous. I clear my throat, curiosity getting the better of me. You talk about your fathers a lot. What about the Avon women, your grandmothers? He's quiet for a beat, then answers flatly.
I have none. No Avons, anyway. There's Grandma Tipper on my mom's side, but she lives in Oran, long way from Parton. We don't see her much, barely once a year.
And the Avon side? I ask, my voice soft.
They all died during childbirth. Grandma, great-grandma, even my mom almost died. Da said no more after I was born. One child was enough risk. What about you?
He asks, voice gentler, laced with curiosity. I swallow, the question nodding something inside me. Me? Oh, hells. I laugh softly, but it's brittle. I love my father, truly, but he's distant, consumed by his duties. I was raised more by his expectations than by his hands. My voice cracks, the truth heavier than I expected. As for siblings, I never really got to know them, not like I wanted. Cullen's voice cuts through, soft, hesitant.
But you could see him again, right? He's here in this time.
Yes. My answer is barely a whisper, fragile as glass. He's here. I let the words linger, but the silence between us deepens. I think he senses I'm not ready to say more, and he respects that. His voice shifts, taking on a business-like tone.
You can take first watch through Becca. Wake me for Hust, and I'll take over. You can have angst after that.
His words feel more like orders than a suggestion. He points north, his arm rising lazily from beneath his head.
Ilian's star should be visible over there in a few hours.
The way he says it makes my blood prickle, as if I don't know where Elian's star is. It's been my constant companion for longer than he's been alive, but I bite my tongue. He's just trying to be considerate, offering me the easier watch shifts, looking out for me. Still, my pride bristles at being coddled. I say nothing. That's enough of an answer. His breathing slows, deepens as sleep claims him quickly. I watch him for a moment, his face soft in the firelight, all the hardness and anger smoothed away in rest. I hadn't thought him handsome at first, but now there's something rugged in him, a strength in his features, a quiet beauty that lingers when the weight of the world isn't on his shoulders. A twig snaps in the woods to the west. I sit up, heart hammering, my body tense. Another rustle, leaf shifting, and my hand drifts instinctively to my side. But then, in the firelight, I catch a glimmer, two bright eyes staring back. A brown-horned buck, chewing lazily, watching me as if I'm the intruder. I let out a breath I hadn't realized I was holding. I turn back to the fire, its flames low and flickering. It needs more wood. I reach for a branch, trying to be quiet, but the pile shifts, cracking noisily. I wince, but manage to pull free a long piece, laying it across the flames. The fire crackles and pops as it takes, the warmth blooming once more. Cullen stirs but doesn't wake. His breathing remains deep and steady, untroubled. I glance at the sky. Elian's star is rising. Hast fast approaching. The first quarter of the night has slipped away in thought. So much to process, so much left unsaid. Cullen, I whisper, my voice soft but clear. His eyes snap open instantly, sharp and alert. He inhales deeply, then sits up, his movements fluid, smooth, no hesitation. He looks refreshed, less burdened than before, like the sleep has done him good. But I wonder, has he simply forgotten the weight of the day, or is it just hiding beneath the surface, waiting for dawn to bring it all back? Cullen stretches, his muscles flexing beneath his shirt, a ripple of strength moving through him. His eyes scan the darkness beyond the firelight, before he gives me a simple nod, acknowledgement, nothing more. I return the gesture as he rises smoothly from his bedroll, stepping just beyond the circle of flickering light, his form melting into the shadows. At first, I assume he's gone to relieve himself, but he stops at the edge of my sight line. Then, without hesitation, he begins a form. It's not like the ones I've seen him perform before. This is different, slower, more deliberate, a precise exercise, each stance executed with careful control. His movements are fluid, seamless, flowing like water from one position to the next, an unbroken chain of awareness and discipline. Even while on watch, he practices. The dedication is etched into every motion, every breath. I should have done the same, kept my body sharp, my mind focused. But I hadn't so much as shifted from my bedroll, the weight of fatigue anchoring me. And yet, there he is, silent in his practice, feet barely making a sound against the earth. A twig snaps underfoot, the sharp noise piercing the night. So, not perfect. Still, shades more perfect than I. The shadows finally swallow him whole, the darkness wrapping around his form. I close my eyes, but I dare not pray to Corbin tonight. His last words still burn in my mind, harsh, unforgiving. His voice, once a comfort, had been filled with grief and anger the last time I reached out. I can still hear it, the raw edge of pain cutting through every word. A tear slips from the corner of my eye, warm against my cheek. When I first awoke here, in this clearing, after the transport, I thought my prayers had been answered. But Corbin's voice, his disgust, had wounded me deeper than any blade. His rejection was final, his dismissal a cut that hasn't yet healed. My stomach twists at the memory, the sham of it still fresh. I am so close to success. I have the razor. I will return it. I will restore the circles, bring balance back to the world. But something is wrong. Everything feels foreign, off-kilter, and worst of all, Corbin does not wish to know me. He sounded surprised when I called to him, his words a condemnation I can't forget.
Krista Smithy, Part 1, Terms. It's fecking cold. Dan and me is standing in the dark in the trees watching a place. A small place. A one-room cabin near as I can tell. A small farm on the outskirts of Parton. There ain't been so much as a shadow move through the window. It's dark. Late. Luna's on our side. Her light's low and dim tonight thanks to a haze and only a quarter of a showing. 3 days without a meal. 2 without a bed. I'm thinking this might be both. The last beds we slept on were a year back at a place called Rutherman's. We did squat for a few days till someone, maybe Rutherman, went spare and chased us out. He got a pointy bit of writing utensil for his trouble, and we got chased by Trundle the night watch for near a month after. Trundle weren't quick, but he was steady. Felt like his lantern followed us everywhere we went. That's when Gin and Maury pulled us closer, showed us the tricks, bump and juggle, slip and snatch, good ways to keep the coin flowing. Dan took to counting the steps. 1 for the bump, 2 for the brush, 3 for the lift. We was best of pals, the 4 of us moving like whispers through Parton's back streets. A couple weeks ago, Gin and Maury were just gone. Legged it without a word. We asked about, but no one's seen 'em. Dan kept saying they'd be back, but that were 2 weeks back, as I said. That's how we ended up out here, cold and hungry, staring at this little house. Figured it were time for our own bit of mischief. We don't always gots to wait on Gin for the word. Dan touches my hand in the dark. His finger trembles with the count. He likes to time things out. Needs the touch between us to assure. So's I lets my brother do as he needs. On 3, I says. Dan's finger taps my palm. 1, 2, ready, go. My knife slides from its sheath as we cross the back field, up the 2 steps to the covered porch, and quick like I slides my knife under the latch tongue. Tilt the wrist, bring the tongue up.
Stop.
I freeze. Dan freezes. Knife freezes, caught in the act. The voice comes from our left, somewhere on the porch. The door opens a thumb width from my efforts, though now I'm wondering if it were me. Warm air slips through as a square of shoulder detaches from the shadows beside us. No rush, no shout, but another moves behind the door. We surrounded.
Let it down, girl. Slowly.
He means the latch. I mean to run, but I don't. I can't. The fellow's between us and them steps. Even if I did leg it, Dan won't know my mind. He'll be caught up for sure. I lets the latch drop, pull the blade back all quiet like. Dan gots the good sense to say nothing. The man steps closer. Plain coat, boots, calm. He gots no steel I can see, but I don't feels like I gots the edge. There's room enough to my left for 2 chairs and a rack of wooden practice staves, sitting oiled and well cared for. That gots a bad feeling in my guts. A well-practiced bloke, I'm sure. A wooden railing surrounds the small porch, holding up the roof, making this a kind place in the rain. I'm a bit speechless when he says,
Hungry?
After a long pause, I manage, sure.
Step back slow. Hands where luck can see 'em.
Luck? I asks. The man don't answer. Luck sees too much some nights, but yeah, fine. I lifts my hands, knife glinting in Luna's dim light. It feels like she's shining harder since we crossed the field, giving it more a silver grey than what it were. Dan lifts his too, fingers spread and empty. A woman's voice comes from behind the door. Gods, I knew there were another. Thought this place were empty. Her voice is clean as a whip.
You found guests?
The door opens enough I can see her,
Hungry ones.
he says, like he's talking about stray dogs he might just train. She comes out carrying a plate, eyes taking our measure sure enough. Puts it on the left chair. Bread heel, a bowl of cold stew, 2 cups, 2 spoons. One of her hands stays by the door like it's tethered. She don't look at my blade, just at my feet, my shoulders, the angle of my want. Reads me like she's read worse.
You'll eat here. Back porch only. Mud stays off my floor.
Yeah, sure, I says, 'cause the smell of it gives my knees a test. Dan's swallowing air like it's soup. I slide my eyes through the door because there's a crack for looking, and I'm of the habit. Hearthside cabinet on the right of a big stone fireplace. Nice wood, good glass, second shelf. Something silver gives a faint glint. I looks away quick like. She sees me see. Don't says it. Tilts her chin to the chair.
Sit.
We does. She divides the stew even. Dan waits for my spoon to touch first because he's tidy that way. Then we eats. It's hard to taste after 3 days of nothing. But after 3 mouthfuls I start to calm, chew, swallow, and then savour. Oh yes, I ain't had proper cooking in near 3 years. I keeps one eye on the yard. Trees 3 sides, no fence, plenty of running space to gets away. On the porch, the man, the woman and the door. I maps when I'm scared. It helps. You ain't calling a watchman, I ask, trying to keep so calm.
Why? You want to meet one?
I shrug, 'cause I ain't sure what to say to that. The woman's mouth does a small thing. Maybe a smile, maybe a smirk.
Spoons down when you're done. Don't chatter steal.
Don't chatter steal. I heard that one before. An old army bloke tried to tells me about it once. I ain't got steel out just now. Put it back to eat, but I nod. When the plate's more clean than not, I wipe my piece of bread till the bowl near shines and sets the plate on the floor. It's good bread too, milled well, no hard bits, just soft and still warm with the well-cooked broth soaked in. When Dan is done, I says, "We can work, we ain't beggards. Food for work, your porch for sleep if you please." The man looks at my hands, at the way my feet set, like he's weighing if we're trouble now or later.
Terms, then.
That's an odd way to answer. Truth be said, I ain't sure what he means. He looks at Dan.
All right. Shed in the front field. Door latches inside and out. You'll sleep there. Dawn, you'll pump and carry from the wash table. Swill the bathing barrel. Stack cuttings by the woodpile. No stealing from this house. Not a nail, not a crumb. Cross that line and you go.
Dan's eyes find mine. He's all counted breaths and tidy rules. He likes rules, but it's where I goes that he will follow. The itch in my fingers eases some. I nod once. Terms, I says back. Shed, work, no stealing. He lifts a stave from the rack and lifts it toward the back field.
You hold a line. You do not chase.
Hold, don't chase, I says. Something else that old army bloke had said. Yeah, we can do that. She takes the cups.
If you mean to stay the night, fetch 2 blankets from the chest at the foot of the bed.
Yes, ma'am.
Dan says. Street talk gone. It surprises her a breath. Surprises me too. I stand. Bones creak from sleeping on the ground, from being cold, from not enough food. The man opens the door wider and steps back so we gots to pass one by one. Inside's one room like the shape told me, small table and 4 chairs to my right, double bed with a chest at the foot, bedside drawers to either side, and a fireplace to the left, a hearth-side cabinet, a pantry closet tucked between it and the kitchen shelf. In the cabinet, silver glints, all pointy in shape, but something else. Something red reflects there too. I would say it's a gem, only there ain't no gems bigger than that of my little fingernail. It were just a glint, but it sticks to my head like burrs in hair.
Don't.
The man says, not angry, just knowing the game. We're not taking nothing, I says, and means it for a 3 count, personal best. We takes the 2 blankets from the chest. Rough, smell of wood smoke and old soap. She nods us toward the dark night with her chin, and we's out into it, round to the front yard where you can see the ridge along the left of the property, the path we's came down to gets here, the privy at the base of the path, and the awning over the wash table and barrel we gots to give a slosh in the morrow. We cross the cold grass to the woodshed, sitting lonely in the front field like a goat trying to hump a fence post. Dunno why the thought comes to me, which makes me snort, then wince. I ain't wanting the noise to be misunderstood. A dry place to sleep and meal before bed ain't nothing to sneeze at, but Dan sneezes. Inside's the shed we got's cut wood stacked neat to fill the far end, a little dust, spider lines, but a large enough floor space we can spread out all comfy like. We don't. Blankets down, one folded to cushion, the other over us both, backs against the wall to watch the door. Knife in my hand, Dan's ledger stub in his boot. Boy keeps books even. I never understood his numbers, but he keeps 'em all the same.
Chrissy.
He whispers when we settle. It's still cold enough we snuggle. He only uses that name when he means it.
We shouldn't
Shouldn't what? By God's the knowing.
touch the cabinet at all.
Yeah, I says. I close my eyes and see silver and red anyway. Tonight we just carry sleep. I don't know who I'm trying to convince. Maybe Luck. Maybe Dan. Not me. The awning groans. Creek whispers to stones. Trees shuffle, and our shed lets out a breath to settle for the night. I think on the man's voice, calm, clipped, and her rules, precise, disciplined. I don't know their names, maybe never will, but they talked like lines were drawn, and we was invited to steps up to 'em. Sleep finds Dan first. He does a last little count, 1, 2, 3, and drops. Hunger's quiet, not gone. The itch to open that cabinet scratches at my fingertips. Hold, I whisper. Don't chase. Never gaves it much thought back when I first heard it, but tonight it's stickin'. Sometime past midnight, a fox coughs down by the creek. A nightbird laughs. I tuck the blanket tighter and makes promises I ain't sure I can keep. Dawn comes with small slices of light in the dusty air. I slips open the shed door and breathe the first bake smell of the day. Dan blinks up at me like he slept well. I know I did when it finally took me. I start at walk into the privy. Pump first, I says to myself, then we... I stop because the porch post is looking back at me different than yesterday. Same post, sure, new truth. 3 faint chalk slashes on it. Not tall, not deep, but enough I spots 'em, reads 'em, leaves 'em. Dan pads to my shoulder on bare feet and goes quiet like. That you, I ask? The boy likes to tally, though I know it weren't. He shakes his head.
Not them. Someone counted us back last night.
Yeah, where luck can see 'em, I says. That gots me bothered. I looks at the marks for a long moment. I know they weren't there last night. I thinks about legging it, but the man's words come back to me, and I'm thinking they mean something. So I says all quiet like, we don't chase, we hold, for now.
And that's where we leave tonight's stream. By the fire, Cullen and Sharael wrestled with truths half-spoken, while elsewhere Dan and Krista found themselves at the edge of something far larger than hunger or cold. The streams twist closer, and every step forward carries its own cost. If you've been enjoying the Dark Razor Chronicles, you can help keep the stream alive by leaving a review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Share it with a friend, and you can also find the novels and more at mikecarmel.ca. That's mikecarmel.ca. Patreon is now open as well, with early access and exclusive content for those who choose to step deeper into the stream. Until next time, remember, if luck is watching, tread careful. The stream remembers every mark.